Hey, what's up? A couple of weeks ago, I tested the Zeblaze BEIDOU 3 Pro smartwatch, and I told you that I also have a Zeblaze Stratos 3 Pro. Now it's time to give this watch a try. By the way, we also tested Zeblaze Stratos 3 on our channel Tech Brothers, so I will be interested to see what's new in the Pro version. Without further ado, let's begin the review. So, on the box of Zeblaze Stratos 3 Pro, we can see some of its features, such as built-in GPS, Bluetooth phone calls, 24/7 health management, and more than 100 workout modes. I think the built-in GPS is the main feature of this smartwatch, so we will be sure to test it out in this video. Inside the box, we have a watch and strap separately, as well as magnetic charging cable and user manual. You know, I have tested many Zeblaze watches, and they all have the same package contents. Before we start talking about the design of Zeblaze Stratos 3 Pro, let's install the strap. By the way, the strap has a width of 22mm, but the manufacturer says that the watch is compatible with the standard 20mm quick-release watch bands. I have the smartwatch in black color, so the strap and back of the watch are black. However, it is also available in ocean blue color with a blue strap and blue back panel. The dial is black in both versions. You know, Zeblaze Stratos 3 Pro looks like a rugged watch, and the company really says it is designed for your outdoor lifestyle. However, I would still be careful with that, because the watch doesn't have protection against shocks, drops, or anything else. From other side, it has IP68 waterproof rating, so you can use the watch in fresh water to a maximum depth of 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes. The dial of the watch is made of zinc metal, while the back is plastic. The buttons on the side are aluminum. Since the new Zeblaze watch supports Bluetooth phone calls, it has a speaker and microphone. On the back we can see magnetic charging contacts and health tracking sensors. We will test heart rate, blood pressure, and blood oxygen a little later. The display of Zeblaze Stratos 3 Pro has 1.43-inch diagonal and 466 by 466 pixels resolution. It also has Corning Gorilla Glass protection. You know, this is a high-quality screen because of the AMOLED panel and maximum brightness up to 1000 nit. The screen is very clear both indoors and outdoors. In addition, there is always on-display support with pointer and digital dials. You can even select an activation time for always on display, 24/7, or the time you choose. However, I wouldn't find automatic screen brightness adjustment on this watch. This is a very useful feature for me, but unfortunately it is not available here. Okay, now let's talk about the functions of the watch. I mentioned before that we tested Zeblaze Stratos 3 almost a year ago, but the new Zeblaze Stratos 3 Pro has the same operating system and functions. There are only 2 watch faces available on the watch out of the box, but you can download much more from the companion app. We will come back to it a bit later. By swiping left and right, you can switch widgets such as heart rate, blood oxygen, sleep, stress, as well as activity, alarm, press, and weather. The new notifications menu is available by swiping down. There is also a quick settings menu by swiping up with a silent mode, screen brightness, always on display, do not disturb mode, power saving mode, find phone, screen lock, and settings. The menu with all the functions on the watch is opened by pressing the start button. Here we have health functions such as activity, heart rate, blood oxygen, sleep, breathe and stress, buzz or phone calls, clock, workouts, sport record, reminders, music, weather, watch faces, and settings. By pressing the sport button, you can quickly open workout modes on the watch. There are 10 workout modes available right now, but more can be uploaded from the app. Finally, let's go to the settings menu. First, we can change the screen brightness, but as I said before, there is no automatic screen brightness function. Then there are ringtone and vibration settings. wrist awake, bright screen time, do not disturb mode, menu view, auto sport detection, about calls, device info, always on display, QR code to download the app on smartphone, reboot, power off and reset. So it seems to me that the operating system, interface, functions and settings of the new Zeblaze Stratos 3 Pro are the same as the previous watch Zeblaze Stratos 3. As for the companion app on your smartphone, this is one of the few Zeblaze smartwatches that support Zeblaze app. Other watches from this company use other applications for some reason. I like the design and functions of Zeblaze Fit app, so I wish all Zeblaze watches would use it. Among the main functions in the app are dial center, frequent contacts, message notification settings, reminder settings, continuous heart rate monitoring, call settings, sleep settings, weather settings, and check to take photos. You can also press on the name of the watch and find wrist awake. Do not disturb settings, sports mode selection, find device as well as more settings. Okay, before testing GPS, I want to try Bluetooth calls. For that, we need to add frequent contacts in the app. Now we can go to the buzz menu on the watch and call someone from contacts. You can also use call history and a dial pad on the smartwatch. You know the speaker and microphone are good quality. Now we can test GPS tracking on the new Zeblaze watch. I would like to compare Zeblaze Stratos 3 Pro and Stratos 3 side by side, but unfortunately I don't have the previous model of the watch anymore. However, for the test of the new Zeblaze smartwatch, I will be using my smartphone. By the way, I disconnected the watch from my phone, so it wouldn't use the GPS from it. Now I will start walking mode on the watch and Strava on my phone and walk for 30 minutes. It's been a little over 30 minutes, and we can see 1.89 kilometers on a smartphone and 1.83 kilometers on the smartwatch. Honestly, I cannot say which one is more accurate, but I would probably trust the iPhone more. Anyway, the difference is quite small, only 50 meters. So the built-in GPS in the smartwatch is very useful if you are doing sports. Talking about battery of Zeblaze Stratos 3 Pro, it has a capacity of 400 mAh and battery life up to 45 days in a typical usage mode. However, in heavy usage modes, the battery life is about 18 days. Using GPS and heart rate tracking all the time, the watch will last up to 4 days. So to be honest, I don't see any improvements in the new Zeblaze Stratos 3 Pro smartwatch compared to the previous Zeblaze Stratos 3 model. They have the same design, display, functions, mobile apps, batteries, etc. You know, I would like to see some changes. However, Zeblaze Stratos 3 Pro is still a good smartwatch with a quality display, built-in GPS and Bluetooth calls for around $50. Thank you for watching, see you soon!